Now, that about classical science. Will we talk also a little about the new physics of that equation? In the Advaitacentrum texts and talks, sometimes it's said, oh, our non-duality has been proven by the new physics. Or what we call non-duality, they are founding now in that quantum physics. Yeah, when you, let us have also a closer look to that. Of course, in quantum physics, the physicists are going on in their investigation of smaller and smaller parts of nature. They are seeking the elementary stones of the whole building of the universe. And you know, at very deep level, they can only talk about the probability of wave functions. There is no cleavage between matter and energy. And there is no possibility to make statements in when meaning, because when there are measures, then it is a kind of momental measure in which, and that's also a result of their investigations, many possibilities are collapsed to one situation which can be measured, is measured. That system which is investigated shows that what has been measured is a kind of serving of what lies beneath it in many possibilities of wave functions. And that wave function which has the interest is interrelated with all other systems. And that gives to some physicists the motivation to say, oh, what lies beneath that is one sphere of energy, of possible wave functions, but this energy. And that is the basis upon which we can do our measurements, in which we can have something in hand. Oh, this is it. For instance, an electron has a certain speed, impulse, or has a certain location. It is here and not there. But before that measurement was, we don't know what the situation was exactly. There are many possibilities together. But that is the basic ocean of the field of energy, the unified field of energy, the null point energy field, and so on. A cosmic ocean of energy, cosmic web, and so on and so on. Now, that basic interrelatedness, connectedness of everything, of those most elementary things the new physicists have discovered that leads to that view. That basic field of energy, that's unity. That's universal unity, upon which the forms are coming up. That's a kind of representation of the basic reality. And then, when it is a unity, everything is a unity in our cosmos. Hey, we know it. Look to the mystical texts where it's spoken of the whole unity of everything. Now you can find it so in many, many books. In the first half of 20th century, Einstein, Bohr, Heisenberg and so on, they came to that conclusion. And from the 70s on, Capra, Zukav and so on have written about it. Yeah, what can we say about that? Is that non-duality in an Advaitic sense? First of all, we have to see that it are specific physicists who say that, especially of the Copenhagen school. Other physicists are saying, oh no, we cannot make that conclusion. Of course, in principle, everything has to do with everything. But what does it say? Further, when the physicists are doing their measurements, see that it are not mystics. They are doing scientific investigation with many complex instruments. And they are sitting behind the computer and they get a huge series of measurements. And then they conclude, oh, the basis is unity. See the part of interpretation. Because they are doing scientific investigation, and that is an activity in which thinking is very important. They are doing that from a mental point of view. And they conclude, oh, we have a theory subtracted from our measurements, we make a theory, this conceptualization, and that is that unity of the universe. Yeah, what's that? Even when you accept that conclusion, then you have to conclude that it is only unity in an objective sense. Because it is the unity of the whole material, energetical nature. We talked about non-duality as the non-duality of subject and object. But then we come to another part of the new physics in which consciousness is taken into account. When there is a measurement at the quantum level, then what the result of the measurement depends at a fundamental manner about the way in which the investigator does his experiment, measures. The most well-known example is that of the uncertainty principle of Heisenberg, that we cannot say at the same time things about the speed or impulse of an electron on the one hand, and the locality, the place of an electron. We are doing the measurement, and we make a choice. Now are we measuring the locality? Now we are measuring the impulse. And so the conscious choice of approaching that object is fundamental to the nature of reality we discover. And so also in the Copenhagen school they say, okay, we have to take consciousness into our view of nature. Consciousness is constructive of the reality at its very fundamental level. Oh yeah, some mystics say, Advaitacentrum say, yeah, that's what we also propound. So see to the new physicists, and you see it is proven that non-duality of consciousness and the objects is the basic stuff of our universe. Yeah, but here also you can say, hey, it is an interpretation. And is that perceiving system of the investigator, is that pure consciousness? And is there a merging of consciousness and the object? Consciousness in the first person and the object? No. The only point is that physicists come to the conclusion that the kind of reality they discover, that in that reality, consciousness as knowing consciousness and the known objects are much closer to another than has been thought before in science. That's the only thing. But when we are going with that, proceed with that spiritual path, as we did, that is quite otherwise. And therefore, just what I've said about science in different parts of science, different topics, that especially spiritual people should not stick to scientific results and say, oh no, what we are saying is true because science discovered it. So you see, then again, then you are believing what is said about reality in a realm in which there are limitations. A certain kind of thinking and constructing reality. And again, go back to yourself. Who is it with myself? Nobody can say anything about it, only me. I. How is it with me? And let not distract yourself for going into all those complicated things of new physics or classical physics, neurobiology and so on. When you are staying in yourself, you can investigate yourself, and that's the only possibility. Because that is a first-person reality. And a first-person reality cannot be the object of science. when there should be in science a merging of this investigating subject and its object, then there would be no science mill. There should be no distraction from your consciousness of yourself. And then the more you are going back, returning to the source of yourself, the more there is openness, more there is fundamental unity. And everything which has been said or is said by scientists or other people, no, this is most important. You can doubt everything what is said, but you cannot doubt the certainty of yourself. At the level of being non-conditioned.